Yeah.
All right, there. Yeah, we can go ahead and get started then. So how are you doing today? It's
No, doing good, doing good. Busy. Working on this crazy index that everyone's waiting for. You know what I mean? And it's been a month. Since I dropped the kind of the call out to designers, local designers, Canadian designers, Black designers at that, and the response has been overwhelming. You know what I mean? So we just been ever since just been working and going, just doing the God's work, doing the God's work.
definitely. And so your situation is kind of it really stood out to me because a lot of people see race as just racial things just happening in like the United States of America. And so what made you want to start like a call out in the Canadian area?
You know what? I think there was a bunch of things, and it's just kind of like, I think, of course, George Floyd and the Amy Coopers coming and accosting people in the parks, you know what I mean, and doing a whole bunch of things. But I know it's just from the response this time around of everybody coming together and saying, you know what, this is messed up. Things gotta change, and then seeing the right people do the right things, but then also seeing the wrong people do the wrong things. And when I say that, I'm talking about corporate people coming out of nowhere and all of a sudden professing their loves for Black people and things gotta change and ding. And then really seeing a lot of industry in the fashion industry do the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what kind of really got me. I'm like, wait a second.
Right. Are you doing?
So wait a second. Because, you're sitting on the sidelines, just, just doing what you can do. And then all of a sudden you have somebody butting in front of you saying, oh, Black Lives Matter, and our company's going to do this and we're going to do that. And you're like, are you serious?
Yep.
Aren't you the same person that denied me an opportunity simply because of, and you're jumping in front of the line and doing all these things, like doing too much. So then for me, I'm like, no, you know what I mean? I'm like, I can't let this go on, as much as know that I know in my career, this particular corporation or this entity, fashion entity, or this, establishment hasn't let me in the door, but yet they're first in line to do this. And then not look at themselves as much, but look at America and say, that's wrong over there. Wait a second.
Right.
There's plenty over here to talk about, starting with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
So making it easier for me to raise a point is basically looking at my industry and saying, wait a minute, you're trying to say all these things, but you've never looked in your own backyard to find out how many Black designers there are here and how many Black designers here are marginalized in the fashion industry in the first place. What are you talking about?
Definitely.
So, okay, you know what? Before I go to the table, instead of coming by myself and making it seem like it's, cry me a river and it's only my problem, I'm going to bring 150 people with me.
Yep.
Because I can guarantee there's an amount of people that are thinking the exact same thing of, what is Canada talking about when we're not talking about systemic racism? We're talking about it's an American problem and it's roses and strawberry shortcake here in Canada, and it's not the case. It's not the case.
And see, and it's
so
great.
This is how I came to this thing. It's kind of like, you know what? Let me put a call out and kind of we'll see.
Right.
And then the designers came out of the woodworks left, right, and center, and it was the most beautiful thing to actually see this thing happening and metabolizing right in front of my eyes.
Right.
It was the most craziest thing to see. Anyways.
Definitely. It's great that, like I said, a lot of people feel like systemic race and things like that only happen in the United States. And for you as a Black man to realize in another I mean, it's so weird to say Canada's another country because you guys are right there, but in another country to even bring this to the spotlight so that people in other areas, can get slapped across the face too. Like, look, this is happening here as well. Like, we need to bring this to light because this is real. Not just there, it's here too, and in other areas as well. So kudos to you. I appreciate you for doing that. And so can you kind of talk about um, the root of Black Designers of Canada, what the purpose is, and where you see it moving forward.
The reason for creating Black Design of Canada in the first place is, Black communities have been marginalized when it comes to fashion and our contribution to it. So I created something to lessen the excuses often used by the industry, like Black designers either not up to par, don't exist in some cases, nowhere to be seen. And just to say, it just create a place for buyers, stylists, writers, department stores, distributors, just to give them a place to say, here we are, you can see us. If you had questions, or if you didn't know, that we are more than athleisure or XXX, like this whole monolithic kind of way of thinking, we are more than that. And giving opportunity for people to really see what we are about and how much we have to offer. And actually, to be honest, we are the offering because our culture is embedded in everything. So that's the funny thing about it all, is that we are the culture that they've appropriated and they've taken and remixed and put back out there with a different face. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like I'm saying, actually, wait, all these faces are here. We've always been here. And it's a beautiful sight to see. Like, you're looking at Black excellence, like right there in front of your face. I can't wait to really launch this thing because it's sexy. It's sexy. It's something, when you go there, you'll realize that, like, oh my God, we were missing something. White Canada and the white fashion industry in general, there's going to be a lot of different reactions, but most of the reactions is going to be like, holy fuck, we messed up.
Right.
We messed up.
Yep. And
because there they are.
That's how it's got to be. It's time to wake up, and I hate the fact that it had to be now, so many people dying in the George Floyd situation, but it takes some messed up situations to wake people up. So, and you have a pretty extensive background in the fashion industry. And so can you kind of talk about that, being a leader and what you do and actually using your platform to draw other people in?
For sure. I have a few companies. Primarily, I'm a sneaker designer. But more than that, I do a lot of private label as well. So we're talking about women's footwear, men's, children's footwear, anything from the really high-end stuff to, like, the strappy sandals, the boots, different materials, whether it's vegan or leather, so on and so forth. And I started a brand called Sully Wong, George Sully Henry Wong, which really took off a few years back. And funny enough, this was one of the things that was funny about the situation, because we were doing hundreds of thousands of dollars of business, but no coverage. Mm-hmm. Who are these guys? It's kind of like, I was telling my ex-business partner at the time, or my business partner at the time, I was telling him, we're sitting in a warehouse, 70,000 square foot warehouse, and we have like $1 million worth of inventory. And I said, like, dude, we have to take a picture of this. And he's like, what are you talking about? I'm like, we have to actually literally stand on the boxes and take a picture. And he's like, what are you what are you talking about? What for? And I'm like, dude, nobody will ever understand how big we are if we don't do this ourselves and show off, like brush your shoulders off. We have to do something, because no one's gonna come to, if we've done this and come this far with no real attention, then we're gonna have to catch our own pass or build our own hype, mm-hmm. so to speak. Mm-hmm. And this is the type of mentality a Black man in Canada is thinking, because even with $1 million worth of inventory, or close to, because then from there, that's just not sold yet. Imagine flipping that. How much money after you flip that inventory are you making? So it's one of those things that, like, we're in that situation, and yet here we are still trying to drum up press.
Right.
That's crazy. That's crazy. And Canada they're never ready for success that looked like me and my business partner. Mm-hmm. He was Chinese. Mm. So if you could imagine, Canada wasn't ready for that. They didn't know what to do with us.
Right.
What do you do? Do you lift them up? Do you celebrate them? Do you give them an award? What do you do with those guys? Exactly. And And again, so then that was, you know, Sully Wong. And then of course I have House of Hyla, which is a women's footwear, high heels, and all the really fun stuff for the ladies. And then I have Shoe and Auto, which is private label. I've always done private label all my whole career, but like private label is kind of like if you said, hey, Sully, you know, I want to make a sneaker, I'd bring you in, show you some samples maybe, or I'd either design it from scratch, depending on, you know, figure out a cost, unit amount, and then get you sorted. So I've always done that for my career, and it's been definitely fruitful as well, you know.
Definitely. And so
that's in a nutshell.
heck yeah, and that's actually really cool. I love seeing, you know, black excellence in whatever the heck you're doing, artistry, you know, in the doctor world, the media world, anything. I love seeing it, and so definitely kudos to you. I've already said it, but you know, keep up the great work. Before we close, is there anything else you'd like to, you know, get out there? You know, how people can get in touch with you, how they can join the movement.
Well, right now, blackdesignersofcanada.com. You can go there. There's the press release. It'll kind of give you the more details of what's going on. Also, we have a GoFundMe page, and that's dedicated to what we're building right now, just going in and the websites and the docus, the video documentaries that we're doing. So looking, you know, always for help over there. We're looking to actually launch the site, you know, the week of July 6th. In that pocket, I haven't given a date yet, but like we wanted to get it out there. And so far we have 130 designers on the first, how do I say, the first wave, the first phase. We have 130 we're releasing, and then we're going to be releasing 5 at a time after that. Okay. The surge, there's going to be another surge. There was a surge when I put the call out, but I see another surge coming after we release, because after people see what the hell this looks like, you're going to be if you didn't want to be part of it before, you're going to be scrambling to get on it afterwards. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Definitely. Well, I appreciate your time. Again, I keep saying it, kudos to you. Keep up the hard work, and keep striving for Black excellence.
Thank you.
All right, and then I'll catch up with you.
All right, cheers. Thanks, brother.